So beware of the best attorney hype. Here's what is actually going to help your case. So first of all, if you're looking to hire an attorney in Johnson County and you're like, I want the best attorney. Well, first, what does it mean by best? Do you want the attorney that has won the most trials? Do you want the attorney that's going to be able to communicate with you? Do you want the attorney maybe that knows the lay of the land in Johnson County? So what your definition of best is going to vary, because if you, let's say you live in Evansville and you somehow pick up a charge in Johnson County and you're trying to hire an attorney from Evansville to represent you in Johnson County, they might be a really good attorney, but there might be some reasons they're not the best attorney for you in Johnson County. Or maybe they're a really great trial attorney. Maybe you're like, I really want a great trial attorney, but at the end of the day, maybe your case is not one that's very good for trial. And so then it becomes, how well can they mitigate? How much can they mitigate the case and get you the best possible plea deal or put you in the best possible situation? And maybe they're not good at that. So your definition of what best means is really important. So what are the metrics that actually matter when you're looking at that? Well, we know statistically 95+% of cases, they're gonna end in some form of a plea or dismissal, but generally it's going to be a plea in some way, shape, or form. So how often does this attorney get that felony reduced to a misdemeanor? How often does this attorney get the prosecutor to say, I want a year in jail to go to, fine, let's do a year of probation? How often does this attorney get the case dismissed? Do they ever get the cases dismissed? Also, what can they do as far as keeping you in compliance if you do take a plea and the steps you have to take once you're on probation or you're on home detention, or even if you do have to go to jail? What can they do to help? So this can be where it's really important to have an attorney that works in Johnson County and understands Johnson County. I am in Johnson County multiple times a week. I work with all of the prosecutors in Johnson County. And so for us, I understand kind of how those calendars work. I understand how Judge Cummins is going to be willing to set his calendar. I understand how Judge Reasoner is going to do it. Judge Kirkendall is going to do it. And it can be important because depending on what you want to happen, maybe you need to travel. Maybe you need STP. Maybe there can be a number of things. How quickly can we get you in? What is our relationship with the court? Are we going to be able to do things for you that maybe other attorneys couldn't do for you? What can we expect? Let's say you're on probation or you violate probation. What can we do from you? What can we tell you? How can we explain to you what their probation is looking for, what their probation isn't looking for? Same with no contact orders. A lot of times we'll see people, and maybe it's a domestic situation again, it's a family, it's a husband and wife, and it's friends, and there was a situation, an altercation happened, there's no contact orders. What can we do to maybe get those no contact orders terminated? And that really can vary county by county and even judge by judge. Some judges are going to expect more things. Some judges want to see more. Some judges are more comfortable doing different things. And if you don't know that, your attorney doesn't know that, then they might just be setting you up for failure or setting you up for disappointment because they believe something's going to happen and they don't know to tell you, hey, it's probably not going to happen. So what are some things that the best attorney in Johnson County is going to do for you? Well, first, what are some early mitigation steps? If you hire us, for example, we're immediately going to say, okay, what kind of case is this? Let's say it's a DUI. It's an OVWI case. Just because you've been charged with a DUI, OVWI, doesn't mean you're guilty. The state might not be able to present its case. The state might have messed up. Maybe the state didn't do the blood work correctly. Maybe the state didn't do the standardized field sobriety test correctly. Maybe the state never actually had probable cause to believe you were drinking. But what can you also be doing to put yourself in the best position early on in case the state did do everything correctly? If the officer did have probable cause, if the officer did those standardized field sobriety tests correctly, if the nurse did that blood work correctly, how can you put yourself in the best position if at the end of the day you need a plea? We're going to help you with that early mitigation. We're immediately going to tell you, hey, here's what you need to do treatment-wise. Hey, here's what you need to do for this. Same with other cases. If there are things that we think you can do to put yourself in a better light, it doesn't mean you're going to automatically take a plea at the end of the day, but it's something we're going to put you in the best position. So that way, if we get to the point where you need to take a plea, you're going to get the best plea possible. Targeted motions are also something that your attorney might need to file. Maybe the attorney needs to file a motion to suppress. There can be a number of reasons why evidence shouldn't come in. Maybe the attorney needs to file a motion for bond review, bail review, whatever it may be. Specific motions, knowing how to word those motions, things that the judges want to see, can get you in front of the court quicker, and it can also potentially get you a better outcome. And also negotiating. When you work with prosecutors a lot, you have a better idea of what those prosecutors, kind of where their baseline is. Some prosecutors, you could take the same exact case and give it to 5 different prosecutors, and you might get the initial plea offer might be 5 different pleas because they have different baselines. They have different things that they find more important, less important, or things that they're tougher on and less tough on. And so when you know what those prosecutors want to see, when you know what prosecutor you might have, I work with with all the prosecutors in Johnson County. So I'm familiar with, hey, this prosecutor might want to see this. Hey, this prosecutor is absolutely going to want to see this. This prosecutor is going to say no to this, but maybe they'll say yes to this. So being able to negotiate successfully can be really important when you're talking about what the best attorney for you can do. So what are some red flags when looking for the best attorney for you in Johnson County? Well, the first is a guarantee. If you hire your attorney and you're like, hey, I got a level 6 felony domestic battery, and they tell you, I guarantee you that I'm going to get you a dismissal. Huge red flag. Now, there might be reasons they can get you a dismissal. Maybe they will get you a dismissal. But anytime your attorney is guaranteeing you an outcome, that should be a red flag for you. Because at the end of the day, it is never your attorney that has full control. The court has some control. The prosecutor has a lot of control. So an outcome of what can happen in the case is never up to just your attorney. Vague pricing. If your attorney is like, well, maybe it'd be this, maybe it'd be this. That's not going to happen. If you call us, we're going to tell you, here's what it will cost you. That's it. That's what it's going to cost you for that case. You're never going to have to guess if you're going to owe more, not owe more. And lack of updates. At the Marc Lopez Law Firm, it's something that we try to take pride in the fact that we want to communicate with you. We want to send you updates on your case. We want to tell you where your case is at. We want to send you texts that say, hey, you have a pretrial conference in 5 days. It's at this time. Make sure you're there. Is there a reason you can't be there? Call us. Let us know. Maybe we can do something. So these are all red flags that you need to look for, and they could be something that causes the attorney that you thought was the best to not actually be the best attorney for you in Johnson County. So if you're looking to hire an attorney in Johnson County, call the Marc Lopez Law Firm. Okay, we can schedule a strategy session. We can figure out what's the plan for your case. Call us at 317-632-3642. And remember, always plead the fifth.